We made an epic fantasy TTRPG, and here's why. Well, I think the scale of our D&D games that we originally played, our campaigns, were always really high end.
Yeah.
We're killing gods, we're fighting demon lords, epoch-ending, like cataclysmic issues that we had to solve and beat the enemy. We used the heavily homebrewed D&D to achieve that. And there was a point where the limitations of the 5e system prevented us from going in certain directions without compromising other rules, which led us to the point of we could make our own, where it's geared towards that play style, which has been really, really enjoyable so far. What is there anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think we were, like you said, we were playing so heavily homebrewed D&D that it kind of became not D&D. And everyone you would talk about the games with, they'd be like, what is this? This doesn't even sound like D&D.
Yeah.
So we thought, why not make a system which kind of fulfills what we wanted to do and enables us to play the games that we want to do, which is cutting through hordes of enemies and fighting giant godlike bosses, and a system that scales and scales and scales and scales, which is how we played D&D back then.
Yeah.
And we scaled it so much that the system would become so cumbersome and so kind of hard to play with. People would take 15 to 20 minutes a turn. So this game is basically how we can facilitate playing as epic as we want to play. So for us, really, the space is taking epic to epic proportions. I know that we have out there are epic games. D&D itself calls itself epic fantasy. We have Draw Steel now by MCDM. Being dyslexic and trying to sound that out, that's hard.
You did great.
But we really wanted that feeling of demigodhood that we were capturing in our campaigns. That ability to be the spear strike that goes into an army and slices your way through, like, in Fellowship of the Ring, where Aragorn resists the ring, and then he comes out of that temple, and there's like 10,000 Uruk-hai coming towards him, and he's alone, stood with his sword. That's the moment we wanted to capture with this game. That ability of being a hero, but you're stood before odds that are insurmountable with just your blade, but you can fight on and conquer the enemy. And that is the space we wanted to fill. That real epic, heroic nature, and being able to capture that through a system.
So what I personally wanted out of this game was I wanted to shift away from the classic multi-classing mechanic of D&D, which eventually became, how can you slot sorcerer into your multi-class every single time? And there were other variations on that, but I found in the end I found it quite tiresome. I also found choosing a subclass quite early on quite difficult to make that choice for some people. And a lot of people, when I played with them, thought, "Oh, but I don't really like that anymore." And you're kind of like, "Well, right, well, that's quite a big portion of your character sheet. So you're retconning a lot of your character if you want to change that." Ours is more flexible than that. We've gone for, at certain levels, feat pools within your class where you can make choices of different options. It's not fully customizable like some TTRPGs are, where you're complete blank slate. But there's a little bit more flexibility that I personally really wanted. We've also extended that idea of flexibility into our spell casting, where there's little bits of extra stuff you can do in your spells. Costs you a little bit more power, essentially, but it adds a bit more variation and flexibility within your spells.
So one of the big things, especially in combat, was the turn taking. I know that some people knock up against this, especially like we said in this video already. The way we were playing D&D, the turns were taking so long. With everyone taking 5 minutes for a turn, you're sometimes waiting 20 minutes at the table and not having anything to do. it got to a point where it was very dull, especially add all the maths into it, that when you're rolling this many dice, it really slowed the game down. So one of our tenets, which we'll be coming up to in the next segment of this video, was cooperative gameplay. And we have made big strides in this game to make turns as cooperative as possible. Interactions that buff and debuff enemies and players, that can enhance other moves. So you're really thinking about your turn as a whole, which is why all of the heroes' turns are taken at the same time, encouraging that cooperative gameplay. More about that in the segment coming up.
So this was a really good design structure that we worked out fairly early on, which is to identify the absolute must-haves in our game, like 4 major themes in how we design our game. When we came to design decisions, we can compare those decisions to our tenets, and if they don't really mesh with the tenet, it doesn't necessarily need to be in our game, or that rule needs to change. So they really were pillars of our sort of temple of design, which were so useful for us. I found them extremely useful. Now, some examples. You would have seen our design tenets are cooperative tactical play, epic fantasy, modular design, and accessibility. So our co-op tactical play, our main thing was the turns and the kind of group actions where everybody is interacting. Nobody's taking their turn, then somebody else, then someone else. It's all tied together so that people are playing cooperatively together. Now, in terms of epic fantasy, to really accent that scale, we have squads. So you're fighting units of enemies, armies. In a big scale, you're going to be fighting armies, and you're able to achieve that and win, which is clearly epic fantasy scale. Modular design is slightly different to the way D&D have done it, which a module usually confers an idea of an adventure that has some classes with it and some stuff. Some of that will be similar. But for us, our modules were about taking a new rule set. So, for instance, one of our modules is a sort of past times that your character can have, which allows your group to craft items and work together in another cooperative fashion. Those rules are not necessary to play our game. They are an add-on that you can add on and take away when you see fit and dependent on your game. So it's to suit you. Accessibility is the one at the moment we are behind where we want to be, but it's hard in our position in what we're at now, which is the beta testing phase of our design process, to have accessibility fully in mind. We want it to be as easy to read as we can, without compromising robustness of rules. We also want to make this as SEN friendly as we possibly can, within reason. And we have plans to put that into place, but it's going to be more something that starts to develop once the layout of our book becomes more apparent and we can start reaching out to experts in the field of how to make our game as SEN accessible as possible. But that's one we've earmarked as we're not happy with our progress on that yet. That we're going to have to get there, though. So we're beyond 2 years now, which is really, really exciting. This summer it became 2 years, and then we're a little month or two on from that. Mm-hmm. So it has been a long-term project. It's not something that's happened in the last few months. We have been working on it for quite a while and had a lot of revisions.
Yeah. A lot. We've been through that document more times than I care to imagine, I think. So many changes have happened, so many adaptions. But yeah, about 2.5 years of solid work, to be honest.
Yeah. We've changed dice system. We've had 3 iterations of dice system before we finally settled on one.
We have,
that was a bit crazy.
It was crazy, but like it was when we found the system that we have now and we first used it, we were like, yes, this is so good. Like we were working couple were kind of like putting together, and actually we used our tenant. We had a 3D8 system at one point, and it's how we actually used our tenants as well, because we were like, we were trying to get away from math, and it comes into accessibility, and we were like, how do we kind of square that with adding more math and having to add them together? So then we came up with the threshold system, where you roll a pool of dice and you just have to meet a threshold for each dice. Kind of like the D6 system in a way, but D12 gives us more variance. So there's so many different little tweaks. We started off with it D6, and then it went to D8, and then it went to D12.
Yeah. I think we went for the D8, and then we realised there weren't enough rungs on a D8 to give us a variance. So we were like, okay, we need D12s. So we worked with D12s. Also, they're a beautiful dice, and they're underused.
So underused.
So we thought that was a big thing, and they're really, really fun. I really like them.
Champions of the D12s now.
Yeah. 100%,
well, I guess Daggerheart has their D12s, but we have more, baby.
We have more of them.
We're single-handedly going to prop up the D12 industry.
100%. Yeah. We've been pretty good the whole way of having a yes and design policy.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is, rather than blocking ideas and saying no, we go, okay, even if I don't think the idea will work, what do we like about the idea?
Yes.
Why are we thinking that? Why are we discussing that? Because if there's a patch that we need to make, is there a core issue here that needs changing, not just adding a patch on top of it? That has been really good. It's all about us sharing it. I would highly recommend, when you go into this design process, do it with someone. I could not have done this alone. I could not have done this alone at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had enough ideas.
Yeah. It's good to have a bouncing board, I think.
100%.
What's brilliant about working with you, Sam, is that we have a bouncing board all the time. And to add on to what you said before, which is the yes and, is so important. And also, like, one thing we've been doing from the start, which has been really good, which is nothing's sacred. I love that. Like, we, at the start, both of us were like, oh, this is my idea, don't touch it. It's so special and thing. But we got to a point now where nothing's sacred. And we've created a design space where we always ask questions. No drastic measure is off the table. If someone goes, well, have you thought of this angle to this thing that's been instilled in the game for 2.5 years? And then you're like, oh no, that doesn't actually work, does it? And then we have to go. And sometimes it can be scary because one thing can change and then everything has to kind of change with it. But you have to make a good game, you have to be able to ask those questions and touch those sacred idols and to ask questions about them, I think. Yeah.
100%. I cannot wait to hear the stories people tell with our game. Hearing the characters people have made, the bosses people have fought, what people liked, what people didn't like, what people thought they wanted more of. I really cannot wait to hear more people's feedback. I'm so excited to be in the sort of beta testing phase where we're giving it out to people to go play this game, tell us what you like about it. It is really amazing. We've alpha tested with our friends quite a lot, and we're still alpha testing to keep going. And our friends going, oh, I found this crazy interaction. Have you noticed this? Yeah. And going, oh no, I'd never thought of that. And some of them are so outrageous we have to patch it straight away. And some of them we're like, that's just really cool that exists. I love that idea. Yeah. That's so cool. So gratifying. Yeah. So gratifying.
I think like the more people what excites me is the more people that play it, the more robust the system actually becomes. Like it started off as something that was so like, you know, it's all kind of in our minds, it's all theatre-y in the mind, and now it's something that really is existing and playing. And the more people play it, the more like you said, the holes get found and then they get plugged, and the more the holes get plugged, the more the ship is floating, and it's kind of like the momentum is so exciting. Yeah. Because I really, and I know you do too, that we've really got something here. There's something really special. Like the things we're doing in our alpha tests are so cool, and it works, and it's great, and the cooperative nature is so much fun. We're just so excited to show people, aren't we?
Yeah,
it's been so long 100%. As well. It's been like 2 years and a bit of just like working in solitude. So it's crazy to finally get to the point where we can actually show people. Well, We want to get towards a place where we can actually make it a physical thing. We'd love to get books. We'd love it to be a game, just have a community around the game of people that play it, people that want to be a part of it. We have loads of plans in the future to build DLCs, to expand the lore, to write books on it, to build this thing up. The beauty of it is it's just the starting point now. So there's so much to come, so much story and rules, and yeah, there's so much. And so I'm just so excited for all that to start shaping up and for the game to just get out there in people's hands.
Yeah. I am so excited to do the actual Kickstarter process. I've been doing a lot of research into it and I'm excited. I'm scared. I'm scared because it's big stuff and you have to make really big decisions. Our sort of aims at the moment is to be doing our Kickstarter launch in 2026 at some point. I don't know where in the year we're going to be doing that, but that's the aim at present. I'm very excited for that. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. We have really enjoyed talking to you about our game. It's been in the background for quite a long time, and we're so glad to be able to bring it into the light. We would love it if you were to join our journey by joining our mailing list, which you can find the link to in our Instagram and our YouTube bios. Give us a follow, give us a subscribe to keep up to date with more updates that are going to be coming piece by piece with our game. Thank you so much for coming. We've really, really enjoyed it. And we've got more episodes coming your way talking about this sort of stuff. Era's End. Keep on rolling.
Once their voices shaped the mountains, calmed the seas and bent the stars to their will. The gods were guardians, protectors, stewards of all mortals. Then the god wake. Mantles of power shattered by the turning wheel of progress. Shards of divine essence falling like burning stars. They scramble to claim them like children, naive enough to put their hands into the flame. Ascension awaits those who seek out divinity, with hands strong enough, or desperate enough, to shape the world to their ideals. This is Era's End. Destiny isn't given, it's taken.